All right, everybody, it is your lucky day. You have Catherine Lefevre here. Catherine has been with us for a couple years, but she's a Panama veteran. Catherine, when was the first time you came down to Panama?
I think it was like 12 years ago. So yeah.
There you go.
Years for sure.
That's right. And you've been doing real estate with us for how long?
I think, 4 years.
4 years. So yeah, you got a pro here, guys, and we are going to talk about the beaches market right now. And I can tell you, based on the guy that sees the leads coming in for both Catherine and Matt, who also helps out at the beach. You know, Catherine's based at the beach, so she does about 90% of our business up that way. Catherine, you have been busy. So who's the last couple weeks? Where have people been coming from? What countries?
I would say top 3 will always be Canadian, American, and Germans.
Okay.
So that will always be the top 3. And then we have random countries, right? Chile, and then Austria sometimes. But yeah, the top 3 will always be North American in general, and then Germans.
Now, that's our clients, Panama Equity people. Maybe you're representing them as buyers, but would you say that holds true for the market in terms of, you know, when you're showing properties with other agencies, you notice the same trend country-wise?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Kind of stays the same anyway, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the majority, of course, we have here and there,
Random.
we have Panamanians looking for properties as well. But I would say that the majority.
Okay, cool. And what about prices? Let's say between January and April of this year, have you seen prices go up, prices come down? We'll talk, let's say sales price for a oceanfront condo. You know, if it was $300,000 in January, or maybe even better, $300,000 last October, what would you say the price is today?
Exactly. So most of the sellers, along with the realtors, sometimes before high season, sometimes they will, change the price base that they reduced it. So if they haven't sold it during high season, well, then, after low season, they will usually reduce just to try,
I like that.
to catch anyone that is still here, because most people would do their visit and their purchase from December, even November to April.
Okay, so we're still smack dab in the middle of towards the end of high season. And I guess now is when the market will react based on how busy this high season was and who's left in the market, right? So how would you compare this year to last year in terms of movement and showings and closings and offers? Is it busier or slower or about the same as last year?
Well, I would say about the same. To me, what is considered like very busy is that, for example, a realtor will see between 2 to 3 clients per day, every day, right? And from all nationalities, sometimes there are buyers that are serious and ready. Others are a little bit more like, second time in Panama, first time,
Sure.
which is fine, but at least, like you're showing every day and several times a day with different people. So that's actually, being busy. So then after April, of course, it will slow down. We still have buyers, it's not like it's completely dead, but, it will be 1 showing per day. And sometimes it's even nicer. We can take our time.
Right. Take a breather. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they come back and then they make offers. No, interesting. Okay. So what about, let's talk specifics here. So asking price versus closing price. Let's say that same $300,000 condo, let's say within a first week or two of listing it, right? So the seller is still feeling kind of confident, but maybe the seller priced it well to begin with, right? Like you look at comps, and we'll get into comps in a second, but they priced it at $300,000. What generally would you say it's going to end up closing for? What's the difference between asking price and closing price on a property like that?
Mm-hmm. On 300,000 ish, it's normal to see a $20,000 difference It also depends on the sellers and
Sure.
like for example, when you decide to set a price, some people set the price right based on the appraisal, some other mix of appraisal and neighbors. You have to compare to your neighbors. Some other also compared to previous or current year of close in the public registry. So if we can see the real numbers, the reals. But this help to fix the price. So of course, some people are more desperate than others. Some people are, they enjoy their unit during the weekend, so they're not necessarily in the need. Other people are moving; they need the money for something, so they may accept 20,000. Some people remove the furniture; they do like a estate sales, but 20,000 is pretty much normal that
Yeah.
people will try to.
I think it's always good advice, guys, to ask your agent why the person is selling if they can find out, because then you could get some insight as to maybe how aggressive you can put in that offer. So you mentioned the public registry. So I guess on the listing side and when you're representing the buyer, Catherine, you check the public registry. How, I don't want to say accurate, but how representative do you think, and this is an opinion, the public registry is in terms of like, okay, Coronado Bay, cool. I see 8 registered sales, but I know for sure that there were some others, obviously, which were sold. The corporation was sold. So, it's standard practice, but technically the owner does not change hands in that case because it's still the corporation, just the shares are sold to a new shareholder. What percentage of what's reported in the public registry do you think, like the entirety? In other words, does that make sense, that question? I would guess like if there's,
like some, like if I would pick up a building, right? So let's say that there is 10 unit that got sold in 2023. If they're all around the same price, like same floors, we know that it's accurate. But if someone is like 150 off, I don't even consider it because that's probably that someone registered the deed under a different price than what they actually paid, which is still possible that they paid that amount, but usually it's most likely that it was always cash offer and that they never registered the real price.
So,
But
but if that one's an
honestly,
outlier.
exactly. Condos, usually it's pretty much accurate. Single family home that are custom built. The
Yeah,
thing is
no.
that when it's a condo, the developers usually register the price, and that's what they're gonna sell it for. So usually pretty much it will stay around that number. The single family homes, custom built, will be the one with the big difference.
Varies a lot. Yeah.
Because
Let's
you can
talk developers.
Mhm.
What's that?
You can build a $800,000 home and register it for 200,000, 180. There's no proof of how much you spent. But in the condos, it's different because it's the developer, that
Right.
registered the price. So the condos is usually fine.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's a lot more transparent to be able to pick up a pattern and yeah, a lot bigger sample size. Okay, awesome. So let's talk developers for a minute. I mean, what are you seeing out there? Developer pricing. Would you say the same thing holds true? A $300,000 developer condo, you ought to be able to get at least 20 grand off, or do you find developers in this market today, April 2024, are less negotiable than your average reseller?
Yeah, usually developers will be more strict. They will hold to their price more than resale. So if you're looking for a good deal, usually don't go with the developers because first the unit will be unfurnished, no lights, no nothing. Compared to resale, it will be fully furnished with all appliances. And plus, you probably have a better price than something completely new.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot more costs involved to set up a new condo. And okay, interesting. What about new developments this quarter, 2024? What are you seeing that's maybe new or just starting to get some good momentum? And maybe any projects that you're aware of that haven't started yet that are interesting or perhaps should be avoided? No, I mean, we shouldn't talk about that. Should be avoided. You can write us for that one.
Okay, so let's start here in the San Carlos area. San Carlos is known for having a lot of gated community. Within the gated community, I mean, you have a lot of different projects within the same, right? Some are condos, houses. So in Casamar, there's one that is, it's very nice because it stays a single family home. It does have the concept of, condos because, you don't have, you have the gas of the project. So you have the flexibility of condos in the way
You
that,
have the gas of a project?
yeah. So for example, when you purchase a home in a gated community, usually you don't purchase the gas tank. It's wired
I
inside
hear
the
what you're saying.
project. So
Yeah,
you're in
yeah.
a house, you have your land, but you still don't have the you know most of the project will also include cutting the lawn, those things. So it's like feel like a condo, but you still have your piece of land if you have a pet or kids. So
Yeah, that's a nice, like, I mean, they call it a PH setup, where you get sort of the benefits of community living, like you said, Catherine, like fixed gas line, maintenance. Yeah, okay. And you see them doing well? I mean, they're selling units?
yeah, so let's talk about Casamar. So Casamar consider family-oriented gated community. They started with the ocean villas. That's how it's called. The first one, first line of the ocean. So they sold them all. Some people have received them. Some people are in the way too. So it was more like a 2023. Well, ending 2023 and starting 2024 project. So now they're continuing the street, second line, third line. So those are single family home. You can expect 450,000. The lot will be, not as big as if you just purchase a land and build, that will be 400, 500 square meter lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
these
is
one are
it one of
going
those
well.
projects? What's that?
It's going well, in the way that they're building and they're selling. So
Is it a situation where and I'd be curious to get your opinion, or maybe you even know like how many units per month they're selling, but I would be curious also, is it one of those projects where kind of like a Playa Blanca where they're going to be building for like another 20 years, or do you feel like Casamar is kind of getting pretty much built out such that you're not going to be competing with the developer when you want to sell in 10 years?
exactly. Yeah, and those are smaller projects. So, for example,
Mm.
Ensenada is the same as Casamar. They're also doing oceanfront villas. Those are duplex. They're called Fragata. Those are also, brand new. That will be like a 2024 project. But, they first need to sell and then they will build. So, all of those projects will be smaller. This is not the same as Playa Caracol or Playa Blanca or Buenaventura that they will keep and keep, because they don't have that much nice. It depends if you prefer enormous gated community or you prefer something a little bit smaller, more private,
Sure.
exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, with those enormous gated communities, you also get some opportunities for retail, like in the case of Buenaventura, obviously you've got a hotel, you've got some restaurants in there, Vista Mar, you've got the marina and some businesses there. So yeah, it just depends. What do you see coming? Can you make any predictions maybe? Oh, actually, you know what? Before we get to that question, Catherine, I wanted to pick your brain so people can understand investing out at the beach. So let's go back to our $300,000 condo example. And 300,000 probably gets you what, 130 meter, so about 1,400 square foot, two, maybe smaller 3 bedroom condo. Is that about right these days?
300,000 will probably get you 150 square meter.
Meters. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Got it. On the water. So that's about 1,600 square feet, guys. So here's our 1,600 square foot condo that we just bought with Catherine. If you're using her as the buyer's agent, you'll probably get it for at the most 270, right? Because she's French Canadian, so she's going to beat them up on pricing. If she's a listing agent, good luck. She probably sold it for 299. But let's just say 300, right? Let's say it's sold for 300. to make the numbers easy. So that same condo, Catherine, what could you turn around and rent it out for?
So let's say you go long term, that will be between 1,400 to 1,600 per month, depending on
Furnished?
which project and what kind of person you find. So of course, we always have the waves of snowboarders. They will always pay their 1,900, 1,800 because they stay for a couple of months. But sometimes
Right.
people prefer someone that stay for 2 years and pay a little bit less, but you don't have to, you don't have to look for someone, pay more real estate commission. So
On the rentals. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So 300 grand, let's call it 1,500 a month for long term. And then in that same condo, what's the homeowner association going to run more or less? Probably $2 a meter
yeah, usually
ish.
200. And then the newest one that will be sometimes a bit nicer, bigger gym, nicer pools. It could be up to $2.50. So
250. Okay,
so,
cool. But let's say, so okay, so there's, another $300 off, plus property management, which is 10% usually, depending on the rent, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say in that example, you're probably making $950 a month take home, right? If you take everything out of there. So even a grand, 12 grand, 300,000. Okay, well, there you go. What is that? I should be able to do that math quickly. 15 grand would be 5%. So 4% net ish. I think if I did quick math. Yes. All right. Well, it is what it is. I mean, you're certainly beating inflation and you're cash flow positive, and you got a condo you can use. What about Airbnbs? Which buildings cannot do
exactly.
Airbnb?
Most people that are looking to make more money, they won't choose the nicest building, like the most expensive. They will try to find something maybe cheaper, HOA cheaper, but at the same time, they usually get more client because it's more affordable. So Airbnb wise, it would start at $100 per night for the cheapest unit on the low floor, because that's the other thing, if
For our $300,000 condo example?
no, that one will be more 160
Per night.
160 plus, the cleaning will be on the side. So like the person who will stay for one night pay 190, 200 per day, and
For a
then you
weekend.
will have net 150 or 160 per
I
night.
hear you. And then what kind of occupancy are you hearing about out that way for that kind of condo that's in good shape, that's being aggressively managed? Is it 60% occupancy in a month, or in a year, or is it like 100% from like, November to like April and then just dead?
I mean, it's seasonal. So from November to April, you're probably at, a good 80. But then, of course, during low season, you can be in, during the 60% easily.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's not
you
so
won't be
bad.
under 50, you still have client. People still go to the beach during rainy season. We're in a
Sure.
dry arc. So the only thing is you won't have client always during the week. You have one person or two, but it won't be every day.
Okay, cool. All right. Where would you say the best value is right now
Well,
for condos?
like
Make it easy.
younger people love Buenaventura. Because a lot of parents have purchased somewhere else, they don't want to go to their parents' apartment. They all want to go to Buenaventura, and that's the reality. A lot of Panamanians are selling because everyone in the family wants to go to Buenaventura. So if you're in Panama, that's usually where your family will want to go. If you're a foreigner, I think it depends on a lot of things. Canadians also like Playa Blanca because it's near the airport. It's more affordable than Buenaventura, and they don't need this hype. They have the same nice amenities, same beach.
Sure.
And they, because of the Canadian dollar, they get more for their money in Playa Blanca.
Right.
So if you also like to go to the city, then you usually choose between Coronado to San Carlos area, just because you're near everything and
What about the ganga? What about somebody who just wants to get a good deal? Is it like Gorgona or kind of like, I guess, the cheapest spot or where you see the most deals? Although, listen, you hit on something. Sorry to answer my own question here, but like you hit on something that's interesting, which are Panamanians who currently own at the beach are being pressured by their kids to sell and then buy in Buenaventura. So it's kind of like, where are those parents concentrated? Is that like Bijao or Coronado so they can these upgrade to Buenaventura? Or because that could be a deal depending on how much pressure their kids are putting on them.
Well, usually those will be people that have single family homes. So they don't necessarily have a condo, but they have an older house that, belongs to the family. And no one is using it. So usually those are good deals in the way if you like those type of home and sometimes are okay to remodel. It could be on the older side. Or Vistamar. They have purchased in Vistamar. And
where were those so Vistamar and where else did you say? Sorry. Is it Coronado?
Single family home random in Coronado or Gorgona. Yeah, in San Jose, those area. People who love Bijao, they're Bijao forever. So, those are like, they just like this location, same as Buenaventura. So, usually it's kind of like you will be lead, where are you people? So, foreigners, that sometimes they come, they don't have any family, they don't have friends.
They're so just
they just pick a place they like, and then they find their people around there.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. All right, cool. Well, Catherine, you are a wealth of information, so thank you for allowing me to pick your brain on behalf of the public, because the people want to know. Guys, Catherine is really a down-to-earth, hard-working person that'll take good care of you. We're lucky to have her on our team. She is extremely knowledgeable, in case you didn't see. So thanks, Catherine, for hopping on.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. See you later.